Right. So
Andrew sends her love, by the way.
Okay, brilliant. Well, I'll make sure she receives this. I know she's busy with her family. I just welcome, and these words just keep coming to me in commercials, to people who've spoken to me in the last few days, and we are all in this together, because actually we all agreed to be on planet Earth at this moment in time to be part of the shift. Now, unlike what I just witnessed on the media, who've just told me that actually I'm in a high risk group, apparently, because I'm over 60, and categorically it's going to be deadly now. I could get this and that would be the end of it. And really, this is a good time to step out and not listen to what's happening. In fact, everybody is in fear of this deadly coronavirus, let me say, which is the common cold. And I think there's a lot more to it than we've been told. Some of you asked to go deep down the rabbit hole during the week, and because of that, I sent out a link which certainly takes you down the rabbit hole for all those that watched the 3-hour epic video of what's happening behind the scenes. We are definitely being isolated and I'm sure I don't have the whole scope of what the agenda is, and it's nothing really to do with the virus. That's what they're putting up there. That's the rhetoric that's being played at the moment. And, you know, depends who you talk to. They've all got a story. I think Bev had a story about how the Chinese went home from Chinese New Year and then went back to Italy, and then they had Hugger Chinese Day. And so would this be the reason why people have it? I've gone everything from actually the virus is okay because it's been genetically modified. It's in fact 5G that will activate it and actually stop the lungs taking up oxygen. So, and then people have sent me in pictures of, you know, maps of, you know, where 5G is and where the coronavirus. So what the truth is in all of that, we don't really know. But in Victoria at the moment, and in New South Wales in Australia, like some of the other countries right throughout the world, we're down in lockdown. And that just means unless we have to go somewhere essential, basically we're confined to the house. And the blessing in that is for once, we're all having to stop and go, okay, so what's life like outside of work or the to-doing? Having to spend time with yourself. So we're in self-isolation because we had guests arrive from overseas to stay with us for a 3-month holiday, but it could be longer. And so we've been in sort of self-isolation as well. And I mean, I work from home. I think Zoe said it perfectly. She's been in self-isolation since she moved into the retirement village. Well, I'm a bit like that too because I don't have to go to work. I work from home, so I am in self-isolation anyway most of the time. And in these times when there is a lot going on, this is where you have to actually lean in and get the support of the people around you. And I think Bev and I have had a few conversations over the last few days because both of us have experienced our body going through a great deal of pain. I said I felt like I was being pulled through a keyhole backwards, sort of, not quite.
Oh, that is painful.
So today I thought, well, okay, I've had a massage, I'm taking magnesium, I've had magnesium bars, I'm doing all the things that I should have done, my controls. I'm just going to go and actually spend some time out in nature and ground myself and just connect. And the sun was out this afternoon. I lay in the sun for a little while and just really connected with my heart to planet Earth. I thought, well, how lucky am I? I'm lying on the grass here under a tree and the sun's streaming on my face. So, and I got up and I felt like, you know, something had shifted inside. So that was good. dare I ask how you all are going? Anybody really struggling and needs some extra support? No?
I'm fine.
All
Hi,
right.
Mary. It's Yvonne. I'm feeling really good. I'm feeling like, yeah, I feel like I want to thank the coronavirus for all the good things it's been doing. Like, I'm living the dream. I'm working from home. People are caring about their health. They're, you know.
Absolutely. So, yeah, we're certainly having to readjust and, you know, prepare and all the things. But, you know, I haven't gone through this, as do some of the other groups here, people in the group who's been on some of the other webinars this week with me. It's like we've not in the fear, we're observing it and thinking, oh, isn't that interesting? Because you've also locked down in New Zealand, Stephanie. That's correct?
No, we're actually very chilled here. We're in what they call stage 2, which means basically high diligence. Schools are still open. My son-in-law, he works for government in climate change, and he's just been told to work at home. Yeah. Cafes are still open, but they take your name at the door so they can cross-reference if somebody gets it, you know.
Oh, that's hideous.
Yeah, so it's a little weird, but it's I think we've only had one case that's been traced to the community. Everything else has come from overseas. I don't know whether it's good or bad, what the policy is, but you know, my big concern is what do we do if one of the agendas is mandatory vaccines, complete with microchip. So, you know, this is, when you think of all the possible agendas, they're all quite interesting, and, you know, a lot of them are handleable, but that's an interesting one.
Yeah, I agree with you. That is part of, from what I've read and what you're saying, yes, that is part of the agenda, to certainly vaccinate everybody. But I don't think it's going to happen. I think things are going to turn around. I was talking with Carola Saracen, my colleague from the Thailand project today, and so they're sort of locked down in Thailand as well. But we were talking about this time frame, this shift that's happening, because it's happening on so many different levels. We're just seeing one of the topics being played out in front of us in the media, and she was saying that she feels things that will move swiftly because for those who did watch the webinar, the movie I sent out the other day, the documentary, once things start to go into lockdown, then there are a lot of arrests happening around the world. So that's really what she feels, that things will move really quickly because everybody's pretty much in limbo.
Is that the scenario? I didn't watch it. Is that the scenario where all the pedophiles and human trafficking celebrities get arrested?
It goes way beyond that. Yes, that's one part of it. What that video did, what the documentary did, was it actually connected all the dots and sort of pulled it all together.
I'll have to find that email.
Yeah, if anybody wants it, then just WhatsApp me or message me, and I'll send you the link.
Okay, thank you.
Because it actually makes Donald Trump
makes him
a good guy.
I've always thought that. If you notice, when people lambast him, like in Thailand, I never say a word. I've always believed he really is cleaning up the swamp, and that's what he said he would do right from the beginning.
Yep. Absolutely. And
I mean, they would have murdered him by now if he hadn't been doing something right.
Yes.
Yeah, probably true. But, you know, I think he does a lot of things because he doesn't want to upset his voter base. And so he gets tarred with stuff that he's inherited. But he's not started any wars. You know, there were more drone strikes under Obama than any president in history. And there have been 1,500 arrests for human trafficking and pedophile rings under his administration, which has not really been historically under any other president.
Yes. Well, it goes into it a little bit more, and just to say, really, it's the sweeping out of what has happened to humanity over the last 26,000 years.
Wow.
Basically. So it doesn't even just talk about the human trafficking. It really talks about the children that are part of that, how they're bred for that. And it goes also a little step further about the people that worship Satan.
Yeah.
Cannibalism, blah, blah, blah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So
That one's a bit hard with Mel Gibson, the cannibalism business.
Yeah. Well, I don't think he's the only person that says that, but he's been very vocal, Mel has, which is why he was ousted out of Hollywood. So yeah, look, I think actually if you do watch it, for anybody that's interested,
I'd love to watch it.
Yeah, you'll actually think, oh, actually I've seen snippets of this sort of coming through the media, and then you don't hear anything on the main media at all. So this just ties it all in together. I mean, it might challenge your belief systems, and but I think for me, and I don't know how everybody else felt, I just felt, okay, this is great, because this is the time that we're all been here, and it really does challenge your beliefs, because when something like this happens, it's very easy to get into the activity of what's happening or the fear of what's happening, instead of remembering that we are soul having a human experience. There are benevolent beings, angels or guides or whatever, or off-planet people that are actually watching and supporting this shift. And a lot of things have to shift. Certainly all that was in the video has to be totally swept out, because it goes through everywhere and has for 26,000 years. The financial system, which is part of it, has to have a huge shift. And I'm just loving all these governments that are being able to find the billions of dollars all of a sudden to put into supporting everybody, stimulus package 1, 2 and 3. And so anyway, they're able to have access to billions of dollars, but the system, the fiat system, the illegal system of the cabal definitely has to change. And with that is the pharmaceutical industry, because they're all wound up into it as well. So, and then humanity asking to shift. And while this is all happening, you might have noticed that the Schumann resonance has been up and down. It was up at 50 the other day. It was 44 yesterday. It's really down to 7. So it's really up and down. There's a lot of gamma light been coming in. So lots of streaming, as if streaming out the old and helping to really flush out and make clear channels for new energy, new light to come in, and this shift. So I don't think we've been put on the planet at this point of time with all that we've learned to be swept out and that's it. That's it. I mean, I don't think we're here for the world to end and we all die. That's not even in my realm of.
No, I agree.
Yeah, we're here having gained a lot of knowledge, starting to wake up to how powerful we are to actually anchor in or to be the light pillars for others as well. Because as we all talk about when you hear this, we hear the collective as well. So I can't think that we're here. So with that, you're really being asked, okay, who do you believe? Who do you believe? Do you believe the rhetoric out there, or do you believe that you are a soul and that there are people guiding and you are the support? Because this is really what's on the plate now. One of the things that has been pretty evident is with this clearing out of the old, wherever your topic of fear is, whether it be you have a weakness, for instance, with your family because you've fallen out, or issues at work, wherever your mind goes to first and starts to grab a thread and starts to wander down the thread of remembering or ruminating, why did that happen? What did I do? Maybe I didn't. Why did they behave like that? As soon as you start getting into the fear or the negative, it's almost like it's amplified, as if there's a crack in your aura, and any darkness that's remaining just comes in there and amplifies your thoughts and really wants to keep you trapped in your head and not actually in your heart. So at the moment, you might be separated from your family, not just by distance, but because there's, some disagreement that's going on. At the moment, just the focus has to be for you, because if you're not well, then nobody else will be. So any other comments about what's going on? Just thought clear it out before we move on at all. All good? Right, good.
Yes.
So I have let everybody know yesterday that Grigori Graboovi has released 5 medical devices that he is giving everyone free access to. They are on 24 hours a day. And these are devices, there are 5 separate devices. So when you go into the link, you'll see there's 5 different machines, all looking like the one we have here, the medical device. You'll notice that apart from the lenses, there are, on the top left-hand corner, there are some more lenses so that everybody has access to. To use the device, you have to connect to the small lens first, because you need to connect with it optically. You entrain the device, and the device entrains you. So it is a little bit of AI technology. When you connect to the small lens, you need to have a clear objective. And then as you're keeping your focus on your objective, in your perception, your eyes are going anti-clockwise. So you're moving then to the next lens that has 9063 above, underneath it, and then the following lens. So it's a counterclockwise move. If you're using the device for numbers, and say you use the number for harmonizing the present, then you would, I've just gone, what's harmonizing the present? 40, Bev, where are you?
So it's 71042, isn't it?
71042, yeah. So you would start at the small lens, do 1 complete rotation to 7, then move around again to 1, move around again to 0, then 4, and then 2. So that is the way so you're actually spiraling as you're doing. Now, your eyes are not spiraling, because you won't feel very good. Now, so that's the first thing. Focus on that. Have a clear objective. In your perception, your eyes are going counterclockwise. And at the same time, so you're splitting your consciousness, you need to sense or see, if you're working on your health, you need to see you already without an impairment at all. But when you go through the 5 different exercises, they are 5 different topics. One's for your own objective, for rejuvenation is another one. One's for immunodeficiency or AIDS. So there's one for cancer. And everybody has a cancer inside them. We have millions of cancer cells, so you can certainly do that. And the last one's like a bit like a prognostic control, also development of your consciousness for eternity. It was interesting today, I was listening to somebody, I can't remember quite who was talking about once the veil, and this is not a Graboovi person, once the veil has been lifted on this whole situation, then old age will be like another treatable disease. It is like a virus in the collective consciousness, and we'll live for thousands of years. That's just normal. Now, that was not from a Graboovi person. So it was really interesting to hear that. On this Thursday evening that's coming up, I'll put another email. I didn't want to sort of bombard you with emails. I'm going to connect with Corolla, and we are going to do a joint session on the PRK. We won't be using the medical one. We'll be using Corolla's device. She has a diamond in hers, and most of ours have just got crystals. So this medical device has a crystal, but we'll be using hers. There are some exercises. There are 4 exercises apart from the ones that are on the medical device that Graboovi has released. We'll be going through those 4 exercises, which involves some concentration on your knees and a few other different areas that we'll go through. We'll explain more about the PRK. However, you can use the links I provided when you go to the medical device. If you just have a look at the information, that actually, and keep scrolling down, they actually give you quite a lot of information, even how to actually use it in your concentrations. As I said again, you are training the device about how you're structuring your consciousness, and it restructures yours. It's like removes away some of the confusion that goes on. So it really has to be you that connects. So you're not doing this for somebody else, you're doing this for you at present. Okay, let's just move on for a quick second.
Marianne?
Yes, Zoe.
When you say 7142, do you do 7 on the little one, then 1 on the next one, and 4, or do you do all the numbers on the one and then all the numbers on the next? Or
I'll show you. Sorry, let me go back. My computer's having a little hissy fit and doesn't want to go backwards. Well, I can use here. You start on the small lens, Zoe, and then you do a full you use all the lenses and just follow the numbers. So you're starting on the small lens, going counterclockwise till you hit a 7, right around till you hit the 1, then right around till you hit the 4. So you're just not doing it on one lens, you're using all the lenses together.
all right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Currently, Bev is babysitting the E=VS PRK 1U. There are 8 people that are programmed to that. However, when you're in the presence, and most of the people are here tonight, bar Hannes and Brian, they're on another webinar together tonight, then you can connect to this at any time. But of course, now you have the medical PRK that you can look at personally. This device is now on 24/7, as Graboovi has suggested to us. What is on it are the 2 number codes that Graboovi has given for the CV virus. I would say within that, the number codes, because Corolla tried to get some clarity from the Russians but couldn't get quite get the answers she wanted. I'd say there's a lot more in the 2 number codes, because he specifically says the coronavirus that came out of China. So he doesn't say it came out of Australia or it came out of China. This is the number code series for this. And I'd say there'd be probably a lot more in it, but we can't quite get the rest of the question answered. So anyway, we'll just use that. Lionel, one of the guys from Singapore, you might have seen in the chat, asked anybody if they wanted any of the round table stickers that I created that had number code series for health, including the CV virus in there. So he sent them out to people that wanted that, and we've put that also in the center of the PRK1U. Just remember that in the center of all of the devices, and you'll see that each device has their lenses a little bit different located, and this is because of the individuals that are connected to that device, and according to our birth dates and where our sphere of eternity is. Now, the other day, I think Rivka, you were on Wednesday night on our study group. Yeah. So I asked the guys, because when we were in Thailand, Steph and the group that were there, Corolla talked about when we're born, how our sphere of eternity is actually located. If you can imagine a baby sitting on his bottom, and when he sits on his bottom, there's 2 little dimples there. Between there is your sphere of eternity. And as you move through life, your sphere of eternity actually changes its location. Where is it? Where is it, you might ask? Well, you need to locate where your sphere of eternity is, because it's working with your sphere of eternity that helps to create other spheres of eternity. And this is part of building our eternal physical body. Now, if I asked you where your sphere of eternity is, you would need to rely on your intuition, your informative center to tell you. You can do this slowly by asking questions like, is it at my solar plexus, or is it at my heart, and get a yes or no. Or you can just defocus your eyes or close your eyes and imagine that you could see an image of yourself in front of you and ask to see where your sphere
Have you done?
Sorry, Chris? Chris, you need to put yourself on mute because now I just heard you. Okay. If I had to ask you where your sphere of eternity is, where would it be? Where is your sphere of eternity? Look at an image, a hologram of yourself. Ask to see where your sphere of eternity is. And then you mightn't even see a sphere. You might just have a sense, or you might feel a warmth in your physical body. Where is your sphere of eternity? Anyone? Rivka, did you locate yours?
Well, last Wednesday I did, and it was in my lower back. And now it's still there, but it just seems to be a bit softer and more expanded.
Okay, nice. Good.
Whatever that means.
Whatever that means, thank you. Zoe?
I think it's on my third vertebra at the top.
Okay, good, thank you. What else have we got? Wendy?
It's here.
It's here right at your throat?
Yep.
Okay,
There.
good. Chris? No,
Chris is on mute.
on mute. I'm just, my screen is just frozen. So guys, you'll have to just jump out and tell me. Steph, where's yours?
Hello, Chris.
Be right below my breastbone, about here.
About here, okay, good. Thank you. Chris, where's yours? You're just pointing to it. You have to take yourself off mute.
Yeah, that's what I've been trying to do. Out in
She's
front.
off.
Sorry?
Out in front.
Out in front of us. Okay, good. Good. Eileen?
Same place as Wednesday, just to the back of my heart, to the shoulder.
Okay, brilliant. Good. Maura?
I felt it between my shoulder and just about here.
About here, okay, good.
Yep.
Thank
On
you.
the left.
Thank you, thank you. Angela, where's yours? While we're waiting for Angela, Bev, where's yours?
Mine's sort of in the middle, just almost over my heart.
Okay, good, thank you. Uti, where's yours?
Mine is near the left kidney.
Right near the left kidney. Wow, okay, good, thank you. Kim, I don't know whether you can jump out. No. Anyone else I haven't mentioned?
Yes,
yes, Marianne.
Area too. Sorry.
Sorry, Demi, where's yours? At the throat.
The throat, yes.
Okay, brilliant. Good, thank you.
And me, Margaret, mine's in my heart.
In your heart area. Okay, good, thank you.
Mine's the same, Virginia, Marianne. Mine's right in the center of my heart chakra area.
Okay, brilliant. Thank you. Helen. Around this, yeah, okay. Sort of, you're looking at the sacral or solar plexus? Yeah, okay. Thank you. Michelle?
Yeah, mine's more out the front, sort of near my forehead.
Near your forehead? Okay.
Yeah, interesting.
Yeah, okay. Oh, so they're all, and Yvonne, did we grab you? Did you jump out?
No, sorry, no, I'm just on mute. That's fine. Mine's at the heart area as well.
Yours at the heart
Yeah.
area. Okay, I'll just see if I can unmute Kim. Kim, whereabouts is yours? No, I'm not listening. Okay, good. All right, so as I mentioned before, Graboovi has these 5 different devices, and I've just popped it up there. They're the different headings. So rejuvenation for the cure of AIDS, and of course with the FDA or the Therapeutics Goods Administration in Australia, we wouldn't be allowed to say cure at all. But anyway, that's what they've put there. And then the 4th device is for the CV virus, and the 5th device is for the development of your concentrations, ensuring eternal life. So at the moment, the best you can do is to have these number code series very close to you. I grabbed one of Lionel's stickers yesterday and I showed Wendy where I placed it on my body. It's still there, Wendy.
So you've not showered?
I did shower. It's lost its stickiness, but, you know, thank God for bras. That's all I can say.
Come on, don't lie. You don't shower regularly. Come on.
Yeah, I do. So important to
Do you know, Chris?
She does know because she stays at my house once a week.
Well, I think you need to change that.
So I don't see her anymore showering or not showering.
Yeah, what are you doing watching her in the shower, Chris?
Yeah, I know. What can I say? That's what friends are for.
Yeah. So one of the things that Graboovi asked us to do when we're looking at the number codes is also to shift our focus to actually harmonizing the past, where we may have been involved in the creation of any kinds of weapons of destruction of humanity. Now, when I say the past, I mean when we turned up as a first spark of light. So this is the first time you were created as soul, not necessarily in this time period of time, but previously in the past. So I'd like to do a control, and let's see it like a timeline, because it might make it easy visually for yourself. What I want you to do is to visualize a timeline where you may have been involved in creating any weapons of destruction of humanity. And how you'll know, it doesn't need to be a massive timeline, it can be a very short timeline, but you'll see little breaks in the timeline, you'll see any cloudiness or darkness in the timeline. And all you're going to do is we're going to use the sphere of eternity, which is a silver gold sphere. But before we do that, we're going to do a little bit of creative free play for all of those who like Brian's and Hannes's free play. We're going to actually take the creator's scissors. Yes, the creator has scissors, and according to Brian and Hannes, he also has a business card. But in this case, we're going to take the scissors, and we're going to cut the timeline where they're just before and after the areas of where there are breaks in the timeline. And then what you're going to do is deform them. So we're going to shrink it to a tiny dot. Then you're going to take it outside your 5-meter sphere and into the silvery cube of the creator for further development. Then we're going to take a creator timeline, so a new timeline. We're going to place it in where we've cut. So we're going to place a new timeline, and then we take the silver gold sphere of eternity and we're going to place it on the timeline like a bead on a thread, and we're just going to run it up and down as if we were ironing a shirt almost, and make sure that it's just one smooth timeline and that it is shining white. So the timeline the whole area should be just very bright white. So we do that from the moment of now, so the present moment, and we go right back to when we were turned up as a spark of light. So that's where you're going to. Your consciousness will immediately go there. Once we've done that and we've change the timeline. We're going to put our focus into the future to make sure there are no echoes in the future or any breaks in the timeline there. We're going to do the same thing. We're going to cut where the timeline, put a new created timeline there, and then we're going to use the silver gold sphere of eternity to just basically make sure all is connected and it is glowing white. So I'm going to walk you through that. Any questions before we jump into that? All good? Great. So I might also use the number codes in here as well. I might put them into a macro sphere of Graboovi's teachings. I'll also put the number codes in the macro sphere. And once the timeline is clear, we might just anchor it in the timeline to affect both areas in the past and in the future. But remember, actually, when I talk of the past and the future as a line, it's actually more like a torus. It's always flowing back at us. So, all good to go, guys? All good to go? Great. Let's get started then. So just if comfortably, you might want to just take some awareness to your heart. You can either do that just by touching it to bring in awareness there. But I want you to start some just deep breathing and signal to the body that all is okay. You are in a safe place. And then we connect to our soul by going, I'm in spirit. I see and act as the Creator sees and acts. Rescue and harmonious development for the planet and all of humanity. For the erasing of any kind of weapons of destruction of humanity that I may have created in the past. I see or sense my timeline that represents this. And I notice in the timeline if there are any breakthroughs, cloudiness or darkness. Make sure that you do not go into any of those events. Anytime there's a break, it signals that there are events. You'll know if you're in an event because you'll start to feel something emotionally. If you do, please just rise up out of that and continue as we take the Creator's scissors and we cut the timeline and where those breakthroughs are dense. And having cut the timeline, we deform it by shrinking it to a dot. And then we move it in time and space. We move it outside our 5-meter sphere and into the silvery cube of the Creator for further development. Now we take a glowing golden new timeline of the Creator and place it into the area where you have removed the previous. To make sure that everything is in harmony, I take a silver gold sphere of eternity and place it on the timeline. And from the moment of now, right back to when I turned up as a spark of light, I keep running it up and down like a bead on a thread until the whole area is glowing white. When this has been done, you can either say yes, or I can't see everyone's face, so. So what I might do is just go through and you can just put your thumbs up. Helen, have you done that? Hang on, you're still on mute. Are you still, hang on.
Yeah, sorry, yeah, done.
All right, good. Uti, you can just put your thumbs up. Yep. Maura. Yep. Stephanie. Yep. Demi.
Yes.
Good. Eileen. Yes. Who else am I missing? Michelle.
Yes.
Chris. Bev. Zoe. Margaret.
Yes.
Who else am I missing?
Virginia, yes.
Virginia. Thank you. And Kim. I miss Angela, and who else? I've missed someone else.
Wendy.
Wendy. Okay. Sorry. All right. Now we're going to take our attention to the future. Have a look in the future if there are any breakaways in the timeline. Same process. We're going to cut the areas where there are breakthroughs or darkness. We're going to deform it to a dot and then take it outside our 5-meter sphere into the silvery cube of the Creator for further development. Now we take a new golden timeline of the Creator and place it in the timeline. And then take a silver gold sphere of eternity and run it up and down that timeline until everything is harmonized and glowing white. When that has finished for you, then just fix your control. I send a light impulse from my soul and a light impulse from the Creator's soul and fix the result now and for all times, 8898. Still a few people still in the process. Good. Anybody notice anything? Jump out if you want to. I can unmute anybody or everyone. You're all unmuted. Anybody notice anything? Helen, did I see your hand up?
That was just to say I'd finished. I did see some red. I just did what you said.
Okay. Yeah. You're back on mute. Uti, did you notice anything at all?
Only a prickling on my back.
Nice.
And I have some like earache, a pain in the ear.
Okay. And have you still got that earache?
No.
Okay, good. Thank you. Brilliant. Margaret, did you notice anything?
Did I notice anything in the timeline, do you mean?
Yes. Yes.
I did notice something that needed to be fixed, yeah.
Good, good. Zoe?
Marion, there was a sharp bend between the past and the future. I had a great deal of trouble pushing it back to make a straight line.
Okay, thank you. Yes, interesting. Thank you. Demi?
I had something similar with my timeline had a bit of a bend in it as well, so I had to straighten that out. But I don't know whether it was assistance from other energies, but I just saw a lot of spiraling white golden light.
Nice.
Yeah.
Very good. Thank you. Good. Thank you. Michelle?
Yeah, I saw, I suppose, a lot of blackness at the start, at the spark.
Yeah.
So I eradicated that, and then I just felt just like so much love in my heart. It's just
nice.
You know, yeah, just feel beautiful. So
it's good. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yvonne.
No, mine was pretty good. I've done some similar exercises before, so there really wasn't much
Good.
for me to do.
Good. Judy, how did you go?
Yeah, good, thanks.
That's good. All right. Rivka, how were you this time?
It was difficult, the past.
Yep.
It was really hard to get that to glow, but the future was really fast and bright.
Good.
So maybe it's just a big vacuum ahead of me.
Nice. Good thing to have. Thank you. Stephanie.
I definitely had to do some cleaning up, and there was also some congestion right at the spark part that took me a long time to figure out, but I finally just pushed it back into the creator.
Nice.
And that seemed to clear it. And the future was fabulous. I felt very expanded and really good.
Oh, good. Thank you for that. Thank you. Angela, I don't know.
Hi.
Hi, how are you?
I finally figured out how to work this thing. I couldn't hear you before.
What did you notice?
Hi.
Did you notice anything?
Oh, I'm sorry. I just switched you back on again. I had no volume. I couldn't hear anything you were saying. So
you'll have to replay for that.
Yes, I will. Thank you.
That's a pleasure. Maura.
I had an image come up of, you know, lots of chaos in my timeline. There was an image of weapons and all of that. And when I cleaned that up, that was beautiful. The future was easy. And actually, I saw my timeline as something apart from me in the beginning. And then as I cleaned up the future, it kind of just, the timeline went right through my heart and out the back. And then it spiraled around the front and it was just glowing. So it was like, it became a circle through me, right through the center. It was beautiful.
Oh, beautiful. Thank you. Virginia.
Oh, hi, Marion. Definitely found discord energies both in the past and also, I was surprised, in the future, much further out into the future. Yeah. And but I love it because when it's all said and done, for me, I always get a feeling of huge joy, and I laugh. Okay, that's when I know it's done.
Oh, good.
And so both sides were very much, you know, had that kind of, and I just finished up by laughing. Yeah, nice. It was beautiful.
Thank you. Bev.
Yeah, it was good. We've done this before, and so there wasn't actually much from the past. So my future was lovely.
Nice, thank you. Kim. Not sure. Wendy.
Yeah, dark. My timelines are normally sort of a fairly light colour. Going back, it was a really dark greeny grey. Got 2 countries.
Oh.
Yeah, Russia.
Russia.
Russia was one, and I got a sense Atlantis as well, which was a surprise.
Oh, so you're part of the people that took down Atlantis, are you?
Yep.
Interesting. Okay.
And the future was easy.
Good. Thank you. What I want to ask you all now is to imagine we're looking at the Earth. We're actually rising up right off the Earth, and now we're observing Earth from outer space, right? And if you had to observe it as a structure, what do you notice? Is there anything around the Earth that looks like any strange geometric forms or any darkness or anything? Is there anything that you can see? Just allow whatever comes into your consciousness, because that is truly, so if you're getting images of something, then just allow yourself to go with that. What are you noticing as you rise now and look at the Earth as a sphere?
I'm seeing there's a lot of things going on, you know, with it's just being bombarded.
Okay. From anything in specific, because for me, I see there is a cloudiness, but it almost looks like a thread going somewhere else.
Yeah, I'm seeing a whole heap of triangles interconnected.
Okay.
Yeah, me
That's
too.
what I saw.
That's exactly what I saw.
Yeah, me too. Triangle.
Amazing.
I saw loads of like black squares and triangles around it, but then around all of the outside of that, there was like a golden, silvery, bright light.
Okay, thanks, Ella. Anybody else notice anything?
Yeah, I saw triangle at first, and then I saw red, like squares interconnected, but they were bright red and really large.
That's more what I saw too, and kind of like geometric shapes. And my intuition told me HARP, you know, and satellites and things like that. But I think maybe they can be swept away with this new shift. They don't seem to be as much of a threat as they sound like.
Okay, so we're going to do something about that at the moment, all right? So I'd like to create another sphere, and I will just use the macro rescue sphere because there is a lot of information there. And I want you to expand, to place the sphere right around the Earth, but keep actually expanding it more. So it actually grows to encompass anything, like all those geometric forms, any threads off to anywhere else, other dimensions or planets. I want you to expand it like blowing up a balloon until everything is encompassed within the macrosphere. Then from the area of your light, I want you to project onto the macrosphere a silvery white light of your soul, like you're using a laser. So as we use a silvery white light from our soul, now send a gold light from the Creator. And I'd like to, while you do that, is to make the sphere dynamic. So it's as soon as the Creator's light touches it, it's almost like it spins it dynamically. Make sure that all the shapes, everything is totally surrounded by the macrosphere. And now just deform it to a small dot. And we're going to send a light impulse from our soul and a light impulse from the Creator's soul and fix the result of removing any darkness, any information that is affecting the planet at the moment. What did you notice, everyone? What did you notice? Anybody notice anything? Whoops, I'm going to unmute you all. What did you notice?
I noticed a lot of activity and it being hoovered up pretty dramatically. Okay. Like it's not intensely stuck, it's moving quite quickly.
Nice. Good. Helen?
For me, it was just very intense, the energy. I just felt it. It was just really intense, like slightly vibrating.
Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah, no, it's not. It was lovely. And just afterwards, I just felt really relaxed.
Nice.
Yeah.
Good. Because that's interesting, because people have been talking about how intense they've been in the last few days.
How
intense. People have felt like the energy has been intense.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Somebody, who was I talking to? Corolla mentioned today she's just started turning off her Wi-Fi every night, and she's actually noticed a difference. So just a good thought at the moment. Just turn that Wi-Fi and your phone off at night. So thank you. Bev.
Yeah, it was actually quite lovely. I had quite a bit of difficulty doing the macro sphere around it because it wanted to sort of push out and sort of almost like arms trying to sort of get out of the macro sphere. But then I was able to do it, and then it was lovely, and then I deformed it. It was good.
Thank you. Thank you. Michelle?
Yeah, I really saw the triangles just dissipating. It was like, you know, something just being thrown at them and they just couldn't handle the vibration, and then they just started dissipating. And I think it's like Bev said, they tried to escape sort of more, and I saw it on the right hand side, but I increased the sphere onto it. And then I felt like just joy actually in my heart, just like thank you from
Great.
the world. Yeah.
Thank you. Virginia. Oops, hang on, I have to unmute you, sorry. Yes. Oops.
My thing is feeling, and that negative energy was very, very palatable. It was, you could reach out and touch it. It was just so, it was so real.
Yeah.
And I loved it because once we'd done that, everything had just completely cleared, and I was doing the laughing again.
Oh.
And the joy, because that's what that to me is joy, and love.
Beautiful.
Yeah. Joy and love. Yeah.
So Angela, how did you go?
Yeah, again, just that feeling, that negative feeling, being pulled into the just being pulled away, and then just light, a lot of brightness, a lot of light.
Beautiful. Good. Thank you for that. Wendy.
Wendy, did you say?
I did. Wendy.
Yeah, I actually saw something really different.
Okay, you're allowed to.
I saw when I first started to observe, I just saw this massive dolphin circling the earth. A dolphin circling the earth. So of course, when you were saying shrinking and I can't capture the dolphin. But when I started beaming love at it, it turned around and it laughed at me. So you know how dolphins sit up and start laughing? That's what it did. So.
Oh, good. I'm glad that you saw something positive. Good. Thank you. Yeah. And Moira.
Yes, it's when I shone the light of the creator, the golden light, it's like the whole structure just collapsed completely, and it everything just kind of collapsed in on itself, and there was this beautiful sense of just peace, silence, complete. There was nothing left that was in any way dissonant. It was completely peaceful.
Nice, thank you. Rivka.
Well, mine was a lot more simple than all of that.
Oh.
The earth looked square to start off with, and it sort of took up the traditional round shape eventually, and it was just glowing. But that was it. Very simple.
Nice, thank you. Who else have I? Demi.
Yeah, so for me, I feel really, really light now. Something huge has shifted, but I felt like I was in a battle because I did see a lot of light workers when we first tapped in, instead of geometric figures, just a lot of light, and almost like a war going on with this negative scalar energy that's been affecting our planet. And I saw the torus field, so the energy is coming through the center and out, and so when I joined in, they were almost grateful for that contribution, but I felt like it was a tug of war. And then as soon as something just changed, and I just feel this shift in my heart, throat, head area, and feel very expanded and light.
Nice.
Yeah.
Thank you. Eileen?
Yeah, no, not a lot.
Okay. That's fine. Yeah, we did this the other day anyway.
Yeah.
Who else have I got here? Anyone else? Uti.
Yes. First, I didn't see any dark structures.
Nice.
I saw a triangle, a golden triangle, and a feeling of many support from good. I can't translate it.
That's okay.
There was very much
the
light.
good forces. That's what I saw too. I didn't see the negative. I only saw like all the good forces that were coming in to help. So,
Yeah.
but I did see the work that you guys did to remove the negative forces.
Yep.
But I could only see the good light forces that were coming through.
Beautiful. I'm asking you all individually because collectively, when you hear somebody else's feedback from what they were doing, often it's what we see in our consciousness and we dismiss it. When you hear somebody else saying, oh, okay, I also got that. Like, so a few people have already said they've actually seen positive and not dark. So it's good to hear that. Thanks, Yvonne. Zoe?
Well, I feel I'm in a different place at the moment, Marion. I'm just trying to reorganize myself.
That's okay. That's okay. Margaret?
I thought it was a very powerful exercise for me. I thought it was really quite beautiful thing to do. So yeah, I think well worthwhile.
Good, thank you. Judy, what did happen for you?
Originally, the northern part hemisphere seemed to be covered with a dark cloud, and then after the exercise, it was like a silver glow was there instead.
Nice, beautiful.
Mm.
Anybody else I haven't? Chris, did you want to say anything at all? No.
No, all good.
Oh, good. Okay, all right. So we've just all done a control together for shifting what's happening on the planet. Do you agree that we all have the ability to do that?
Amazingly enough, yes.
Yes, yes.
Okay. I'm glad you're all saying yes. Now, I want to just throw something in there. We're lucky. We can, you know, we're all a little isolated. We're all in our different locations at the moment, and you know, things are changing from day to day. So, what happens if, in the not too distant future, for a very short time, we didn't have access to the internet or phone? We didn't have access to the internet or phone.
Well, we can still communicate via clairvoyance. You know, we've still got that connection.
Yep.
Which has been, you know, stifled in the past, but it allows us to expand upon it and really reinforce using that connection.
Yep. Anybody else feel that or not feel that? Because I'm happy to, because it's the people that also don't feel that you know, for the people, for the group that have a very strong connection, that they can make a big change to what's happening, like what we've just done there. If you don't, then it's us that we help to support you. So who would need some support if that happened?
I think I would.
Yeah, same with me.
That's Angela and Zoe, is that correct?
I think so, yes, yes.
Sorry, I just had a tickle in my throat.
But Zoe, you are very, very, Zoe.
Zoe?
Yeah. Zoe, you are so clever and so spiritual. You hardly need any help. You are amazing.
No, but I couldn't do telepathy with clarity.
Yeah.
I mean, I get the general idea, but I couldn't.
Yeah, it would feel like. Yep.
You're not that far away, Zoe. I can always come and visit you.
Oh, you're a darling.
We can escape to Pakenham together. And
Marion, I feel like I have this urge to sing, I got you, babe. There's this big urge to sing that to you.
Oh, thank you.
Don't stop now, Chris. Go.
Yeah, no, you'd be grateful I did.
Don't know till you try.
I just wanted to bring it up. It actually might be part of what happens in the not distant future for a very short time. So I hope I'm wrong, but if it does, just know that there is some major stuff happening behind the scenes.
Oh, you mean this may be the impetus to get us all telepathic more quickly?
Oh, good one, Zoe. I like that.
I'd like that. I like how you're throwing.
That's a positive spin.
I like the positive spin. And I think there's also just whatever's going on in the background to clean out the riffraff. Maybe that's also happening in the background, and we disconnect from the media crap and just really have to spend time with ourselves and trust, because you know, when we make a big shift, no one's going to be knocking on your door and saying, well, do you believe it yet? You know, you're going to have to take a shift anyway and go, okay, this is real. Because some of the things that you guys have been mentioning is all, you know, fifth dimensional, fourth dimensional talk. Being able to see, I was reading something today, when you start seeing geometric forms, like most of you did, you are already in fifth dimensional thinking. Now we're hovering between that. We're hovering between.
All of us have been there for ages, surely.
Well,
Marion, I get these circles in front of my eyes. Is that normal? I ever since I've done this, I just, quite often they're just there.
Yeah, that's fine. Oh. Fine, because that's the whole structure around us. Everything around us is encoding in geometrical form. You're just seeing what's there at another level. So that's fine. You can play then. It's like playing with building blocks.
Marion, in this business about being on your own, do you need help? I mean, some people might, but surely we are self-sufficient enough and trusting enough of what we sense to just go with it and to be in our own space with that.
Well, I absolutely, but there's a lot of this going along at the moment. A lot of fear mongering, and sometimes, as I said, if you're not stable in your platform, if you've got any cracks, any past stuff unresolved, it's almost like the dark looks for the cracks and then goes in and amplifies it.
Yeah, well, I don't think any of us are immune. I mean, I can wake up in the middle of the night and go, and I go, no, stop. You know, this is not my information. This has nothing to do with me. Go away.
Yeah.
And I think we all have those. We just need to be standing in our truth and knowing that, you know, this isn't anything to do with us, and to be very conscious of the fact that stuff's being shot at us.
Yep, absolutely. There's a lot happening. That's why, thank you for bringing that up, Rivka. Yes, anytime that you start to feel that thread of something popping in and your mind starting to spiral negative, it's like pressing delete on the computer. I do not accept this information.
It's interesting with the, I mean, I've heard it could be as much as 10 days. And interestingly, I received a guidance in 1995 about this, that there would be a time during the shift we would go into darkness, and this time must be now, which is incredible because that was 25 years ago. And I think what might happen is that we might be okay, because first of all, we're sharing this with each other and we've got all these tools, but everyone around us is not going to be okay. And what I was told in that guidance is by then, which is 25 years later now, we were meant to be as sons. And I don't feel quite like I'm a son, quite. You know what I mean? It's sort of like, it's like a really big push to just become a son, because the darkness is metaphoric as well as literal. And that we're going to have to really step up to be sons, to be that Taurus of love, so that everyone around us will calm down.
Absolutely. And I like somebody, I've forgotten who put it up in the WhatsApp. I think it might have been one of the Asian people put up about what's the good about this whole situation. What's been the positive for all of us out of it? And there was a beautiful little video that described, you know, thank God for this situation, because it really brings people back together. Because, you know, for some people they're in a lot of fear, so it brings them back to their family or their community or wherever they're getting the support. And for us, we've got no distractions anymore, no busyness to have to go to work, and people are suddenly waking up and going, okay, so what do I do when I don't work? Okay, so they're having to, you know, what's life beyond getting up and going to a job? You know, what is it like to have free time to do the things that you mightn't have done before? This is giving you the space to explore that, because
Marion, sorry, that's exactly what I've felt as well. How, you know, that's why I'm enjoying this time, because I'm actually doing what I've always wished I could do. I'm going off and foraging in the forest. You know, I'm having a ball doing the things I really wanted to do, despite the you know, the other negative things that are going on with people in fear. But it's also brought out, it just makes you realise, like, I go to the farmers markets here for my food. I don't go to the supermarkets for my food. And all of a sudden, I went to the farmers market on Saturday. There was a stack of people that never ever go there, and you could just feel them. They were rushing in there. I need to get food. I need to, you know, take, you know, I'm in fear. You know, they're grabbing and you know, normally what the experience is you go there and you have a chat. You talk about what you know, I'm cooking this. What, you know, what would you recommend, you know, for this and this? And it wasn't. It was just like all these people descending on there, going, gimme, 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 and yeah, it's such a. I think it's clearing. Lee Harris talked about on one of his updates about you know, watching people that are going in the fear mode.
Yep.
And just allowing that, like, don't judge them, just allow it, just allow them to, you know, express that fear, and you know, so it can all be cleared out.
Yeah, because, you know, fear is just that in the future that you feel like you'll have a loss without a gain. And yeah, I mean, at some stage you will have been in fear about something, and so you can empathize with how people are going. And you just watch tomorrow, because what is it, Tuesday, they're closing all the schools here and we're in lockdown officially. Only essential services, everybody will be racing out to stock up tomorrow. So yeah, yes, Maura.
I just think the whole thing is so beautiful, and I see it all as an analogy of going within. And this lockdown, and you guys might not have had it so much there, but when everything is closed and you're in your house, I see it as going inwards. So the outside world is where all the distraction is, and where all the temptation is to go away from our soul and to get caught up in the chaos. And we've had a huge learning all these lifetimes, you know. And now it's time, and the locking down in the house, the self-isolation, I see it as an analogy of going inwards and into the heart and finding in there the peace. And I think everybody is discovering that. Even those that are in fear, they go out and they go into fear. But when they're home, that sense of peace descends, because now they don't have to do anymore. They can just be. And if we do go through the 10 days of darkness or whatever it may be, I see that as an even more powerful opportunity to really retreat into silence. And yes, a lot of people will be in fear, but for us, we can totally go into that darkness and find within that darkness the light that has always, always, always been there. And we can shine that out, and we are one heart. We are one mind, and we can, with full conviction, know that there is nothing inside of us but light, and shine that out onto the whole world. And it's an opportunity like this has never been given, never been present, at least that I know of, to the degree that we're evolved now, because we can for sure be totally in that silence and that stillness, where there's now no possibility of outside temptation or distraction. and be within the power and the light and the love that's within all of us, and connect that for all of mankind, for all humanity.
Yeah, I agree. It's a really good chance, because anyway, you won't know everybody else is in fear apart from being able to feel it, because there'll be no communication, so you won't be able to. But yeah, very good point, Maura. Very good point.
I've just been 4 days, as you know, Maz, bedbound because I've done my back, so haven't been able to go and do anything. And today's just the first day, and that I found that really challenging. By about the third or fourth day, though, I thought, I have got so many things I want to listen to that I haven't had time to listen to, so much that I want to read. Thank God for Netflix at night. There's all this other stuff that all of a sudden has come about, of things that I've always wanted to do, but just haven't had time.
Yeah, absolutely. So now
So that's been a really good, interesting time, prelude to it.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Before we go today, I'd like to go through the copper matrix. Now, Carola, this is one of the controls that Carola brought to us, and she talked about how originally we had a copper matrix that was installed in the triplicate of our DNA, and what happened was, or in the codone, sorry, and what happened was the systems, or the darkness, installed the iron matrix. So what we're going to do is remove any of the iron matrix that actually is still sitting there. So when the human still had the copper matrix, the immune system was completely undisturbed. Dark forces locked the copper matrix into a codone triplicate and encoded it and replaced it with the iron matrix instead. This changed our organism, our body, and caused the immune system to play havoc, so that now it both protects and destroys the organism. When the immune system has used up all resources, the soul reverts to an age-old protection mechanism, the protection of matrix-activated cells. So matrix-activated cells are cancer. More than just the cancer virus, they actually create a shape, a geometric form in the matrix. The iron matrix does not come from the creator. It was created by the collective consciousness. But since the human has free will, we can decide to neutralize the iron matrix and to reactivate the copper matrix instead. So these times are like we're totally dismantling the old matrix system, the slavery system that we've been in bondage in. So any questions before we start? No. We will use the sign of Ra. The sign of Ra looks like a big P. If anybody has ever seen it, the sign of Ra sits on top of the Pope's staff. He has a P, but he has a cross through it. We're just looking at the P.
Sorry, Marion, can I ask a question? You know the copper bit on the picture?
Yep.
Is that the copper how it should be, or or is that the iron? Is that
no? This is just a picture I got off the internet that sort of looks a little bit like copper. So
okay,
this is what this looks like.
It's not for interfere. Okay,
correct. Yeah, thank you for bringing that up. All right, so let's have a look at that now. When I'm going to put you all on mute, and when we get down to the third line, it actually says human, life, human, eternal life, copper matrix. I'm going to put you on mute, and I want you to say the words out loud to yourself, and with volition, because when you say the words, as we've done in the other 2 study groups, it's almost, I don't want to preempt anything, but just so that you'll know it has a real impact, because words are actually create. Your words create.
Please,
so I'm just going to pop everyone on mute at the moment, and we'll go through this, and then we'll jump out and have a little bit of a debrief. So just get comfortable again. We're already in spirit, so we don't need to do that. We know we're going to get rid of the copper matrix. So I see or sense the codon in which the copper matrix is encoded. To open it, I place the following code information into this codon. Human, life, human, eternal life, copper matrix. Just feel those words as they vibrate through you. I place the sign Ra, which looks like a capital P, on the copper matrix and transfer it into my body. Materialization in front of the backdrop of the Creator's soul. I see the archive point of my soul. And I place the sign Ra on it. And then the triune chromosome and the cosmic library appears. So we're on the platform of the Creator knowledge in our soul, where we have access to all the information. Materialization in front of the backdrop of the Creator's soul. I transfer the triune chromosome from the invisible world, from the spiritual world of my soul, into the visible world, into my pituitary gland. Just be aware of what you're feeling as this is transformed into your pituitary gland. You don't need to know where the pituitary gland is, just allow it to happen. Materialization in front of the backdrop of the Creator's soul. This control accelerates our development process, and sometimes we need to adjust to them. So you just say these words: I adjust the speed of my perception to the speed of the light stream of the Creator. I adjust the speed of my perception to the speed of the light stream of the Creator. Now just be aware now of how you feel after you've adjusted your speed and what's happening in your pituitary gland. I send a light impulse from my soul and a light impulse from the Creator's soul and fix the result now and for all times 8898 today, the 22nd of March 2020. Remembered that. Okay, I'm just going to jump you all out. And how was that for everyone? How was that? Anybody want to jump out instead of me picking you? Anybody want to?
My head.
Your head.
Yeah.
What's going on with your head?
Oh, it's like it got that big and my head wasn't big enough.
Oh, really? Okay. Nice. Anyone else notice anything?
I saw my third eye.
Oh, nice. Nice one, Wendy. Thank you. Anyone else?
Lots of buzzing in my head.
Buzzing in your head. Thanks, Bev.
I just felt quite expanded.
Nice. Thanks, Susan. I'm going send this control out for those in the recording anyway. So everybody, if you've got it, you still can use it. This is really a good one to use on our immune system. And I just want to bring up here that don't forget you've got a very large sphere of living matter above your head. And in fact, you can take a sphere of living matter and place it into your third cervical vertebra. I think all of you would have probably heard that now Bev is putting into the WhatsApp group a little, Bev, what have you popped in again? You're putting in about using the third cervical vertebrae.
Yes, so before each day's concentration, I am putting in that recording just to remind everybody to clear their matrices, to put a sphere of living matter into their third cervical vertebra, because it protects to the norm of the Creator and it helps the immune system to the norm of the Creator.
Thank you.
At this time, it's really important to know that you are powerful.
Yeah, absolutely. Because to deal with any disease or any virus in the physical body, it first had to start off as information. And so if we can take almost like our daily vitamin pill via doing our controls, then it just also helps to protect us. I know some of you, Rivka, I know you're not on WhatsApp, but because I love you so much, I will forward this to you. Zoe, I sent it to you today. In fact, I'll send it to everyone just so that they have it on their computer if they're not near their phone. If for some reason we aren't talking to each other for some reason, you'll have a copy of it that you can download onto your computer and listen as well.
Thank you.
All right. So,
can I ask one question before you vamoose?
Yes.
When you've got the sphere above you and you're plucking out a bit and sticking it into your third whatsy, can you do that for someone else, or pluck the other person's thing and stick it in? Or
no, you use yours, because they call the sphere of living matter like the what was it? The chalice of. It's like the eternal spheres that are always there. It's the Holy Grail almost. So when you take a sphere out, another sphere pops in.
It's like the magic pudding, really.
I like the magic pudding. I called it that, but anyway, you could. What you do if you're for somebody else, so you take a small sphere of living matter from your large sphere of living matter and give it an objective, because a creative tool doesn't mean anything until you tell it to do something. And then you can place it into anyone you like. You can place it in their cervical vertebra, or you can stream it like a golden liquid. So, for instance, you're wanting to build up your digestive system for some reason, you could take a sphere of living matter and restoration of my digestive system. You could imagine taking it like a vitamin, and as soon as you put it in your mouth, it streams right down over your tongue and then right down your digestive system. So that's just
an ongoing thing.
To clean our throat and lungs from the virus.
What virus?
You could place a sphere with living matter into your lungs, and stream on your lungs, or the whole sphere of your lungs. So,
but is it continuous? Is that what you mean, or is just one sort of whoosh?
What, do you have to repeat it again? Is that what?
No. I mean, are you saying you're streaming it? To me, streaming is a continuous thing. Yes. Or are you just saying you just do it? What it just does a slow?
No, it's like a liquid. It just like
keeps going.
Yeah. Well, it's like you bite something. You bite a chocolate. Wendy will like this. You bite a chocolate inside, and it has a beautiful soft center. As soon as you bite the chocolate, you then get the taste of the beautiful soft center as it runs down your throat. But once it's done that, it's not keep going every day. It's like, oh, now I've finished eating the chocolate.
Okay, because streaming to me is a continuous line. That's what I meant.
Yeah. Well,
and ongoing.
Yeah, no, in this case, it's just a stream. So it's like you've opened the sphere, and its contents is now empty.
Done. But yeah. I like the chocolate though.
Yes.
Yeah. Marion, how's Brian's stash of chocolate doing?
A stash of chocolate. He hasn't been onto, although he did bring out the wagon wheels last night.
Wagon wheels?
Go, Brian.
Yeah. Look, you don't have to worry. He's got a stash of chocolate. We'll get through this.
Well, he'd be good for those 10 dark days, wouldn't he?
Yeah, yes, he might be rationing out the chocolate. No, he'll be fine. Oh, we've got a stash. He's very good at buying food, so we've got a lot to use. Everything from pancakes to everything. You just name it, it's stashed in our cupboard.
Brilliant.
Not because of now, it's always been stashed in our cupboard. All right. So they're just little things to remember. Now, all being well, we will have another study group in a fortnight. So, which I think that takes us to the 5th of April. There is also on the 4th of the 4th, and then 2020 is a 4, so it's a 4-4-4 portal. There is a global meditation that people are coming together. It's not something I'm doing, it's just general that's been out there. So even if we can't come together, then please just remember this is a time to go into your inner world. I'll send some information, and it's about just keeping it focused on harmony and healing at this time. So it's another portal. As I said, I will keep you up to date with that. In the meantime, I will send you the replay, plus I will send you 2 links for Thursday. The first link is Leslie wants to jump in during the day and do another session. That will be around 2:30 Australia time. It'll be.
He's invited me to one tomorrow, Marion.
Oh, has he? Okay, so he's doing another one.
Me too. Me too.
He hasn't invited me. That's.
No, I'm not invited
okay,
either.
So chaos is going to reign on that one then.
Yeah, absolutely. As it did on Thursday. He's at home. He's bored, I think. They're in lockdown till the end. So I will send you one to Leslie, and if you can join that, fine. The other thing is then on Thursday evening, 8 p.m. Melbourne time, maybe too late for you, Steph, so I can record it. Corolla is going to jump in and do some more on the PRK, and we will go through the 4 controls that Graboovi has just sent out recently for us to do. I will give you a copy of that for all those that let me know that they're going to jump in. I will record that session. By now, all of you will probably be confined to the house, so there's no reason to not jump in. But anyway, this is a free session. Those sessions on Thursday are free sessions that we're giving to the community. It's a masterclass on Thursday evening.
Thank you.
So we'll do that. In the meantime, know that you can still jump onto the medical devices and do your control, and the PRK is available in the E=VS group 24/7 for anybody that wants to jump on anyway there. All right, any questions before we head off? Anything anybody wants to say? No?
Thank you as always.
Pleasure. Good to see a lot of people tonight.
I might just ask if
Thank you, and show more often, please.
Kim, you wanted to ask something? Kim?
Okay, good night, everybody.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Marion.
Take care.
Thanks, Marion.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Good night.
Good night.
Nice.
Good night, everybody.